bless them, Lord, and bless her as well as all the other that come before, that have retired in our community, within the city, and allow them to have a beautiful ending life as they walk a different path. And may you bless them, Lord, with many fruits and with good health, Lord. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the seal symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's not even a note. All right. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of agenda.
I make the motion we approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain the next motion.
Make that motion, we consider the regular meeting minutes of today.
Not today, January the
January.
9th, 2017. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll go on into commissioners and staff report. This Crystal. Said that last time too. Gary.
I have nothing new to report yet, also.
Okay, very good. On
Nothing, sir.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Well, in case y'all didn't know, we got a new president.
I heard about that. Is that why all the women were marching? Commissioner Butcher.
Nothing, sir, at this time.
Thank you. If you would join me in a moment of silence, I would like to have that in honor of Sheriff Ackerman, who we just lost recently. Thank you. Commissioner Faria.
Not at this moment. Thank you.
Commissioner Gandy.
No, sir.
Chief.
No, sir.
Chief. Thank you. James.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, pleased to announce that we've appointed Debbie Mitchell to serve as our library director. She started work today. She has been filling in the interim, so we will be hiring the additional library clerk position over there that was vacated because of her appointment to this new position. So she'll be making that library her own and carrying on the traditions and programs that we've had in the past as well. Also, for Municipal Day, February 21st through the 23rd, I have to have a solid confirmation from you by February 3rd, so we can make sure that we have everyone registered. Also, we have a update on retail strategies. You may note that on your accounts payable, we have a payment to them. That's our second year payment to them, but what they've done so far in this first year, and I may have Evelyn from our EDC also provide a little bit of a report. I can't answer those questions, but they have completed their analysis of our area, identifying our trade area, demographics, customer behaviors as far as what they purchase, when they purchase those things, comparing us to municipalities in similar size and demographics. In addition to that, they've actually been out here. In June, they were out here taking a boots on the ground inventory of the available properties and existing establishments that Lovington has. And they've created a catalog of prospective properties that are within Lovington. In addition, they have contacted several owners to get familiar with those individuals, letting them know that they are engaged with the city of Lovington. They want to offer any assistance they can to those property owners to help fill some of those vacant stores or vacant plots of land. They've also identified areas of particular locations in Lovington where they would like to focus, where based on industry trends, certain businesses perform in certain areas a lot better. In addition to that, they have presented and prepared our marketing material that they give to each one of these prospective retail establishments. It includes demographic data, our overall marketing plan as well, and updated information on the website to let individuals know that these properties are available. So an overview of the recruitment, they have identified at least 75 different national chains from 8 specific categories that are present in markets similar to Lovington or maybe interested in Lovington. They do have a breakdown. You can find that in your Dropbox folder of the different things that they have sent responses from. 2/3 of those on the prospect list have been reached out. They've received feedback so far from about 15. And as we explained when we first entered into this agreement, this is a very slow, tedious process. A lot of negotiation that they're doing. So they are still refining some of the market analysis, trying to obtain more data for some of those interests that have been fielded. Some of the highlights from specific feedback that's been received, there's some that are just frankly not interested in expansion at this time. We may not meet the particular market needs that they have. We're too small of a market. They may have franchisees who felt that right now it's not a good time to invest, or they're not interested in expansion. And also the lack of other places. If you notice the last one, Cato Fashions. We have talked, Evelyn and I have spoken with Cato before. Retail Strategies has spoken with them, but the fact that we have a lack of a Walmart, some of these franchises will pass on Lovington. That's part of their site requirements, is they have to be within so many feet of a Walmart. That's just part of their business plan. So the lack of certain businesses often negates some of those retail establishments. So some of the most current efforts, and it's very vague because a lot of this is proprietary for these franchise and retail establishments, but kind of an overview. They did talk to someone with basically a national gym chain. However, Evelyn did talk to Retail Strategies and told them, don't focus anymore on trying to recruit a gym. We actually have private gyms here in addition to the investment that Norley and the schools in the city are making. How they identify what our needs are is they look at what's called a gap analysis, where we're lacking in different areas. But they've talked to a couple of different fast food restaurants to come in. They've talked to also some national grocers for some possible expansion opportunities. So a lot of this is still preliminary. And one of the things that they did want to stress is that even though a franchise may tell you no initially, that's not necessarily a firm no. It may be just not at this time, maybe later. We're also looking at some of their responses. Evelyn, through the EDC, since this is an EDC-funded project, she has access to some more updated information. However, that does remain confidential with the EDC. And if she sees something that's reported back wrong, she's able to interface with Retail Strategies to correct them. For instance, if a respondent had our wrong population numbers in there, that's a really good way to communicate. But that's where we're at. They will be representing us at 3 major trade shows this coming year. Of course, the national one in Las Vegas, and then they have the Western and Texas deal-making conferences, a little bit smaller conferences, but you can still get the same results. But they'll be representing us at all 3 of those this year. But that's all the report I have on that, unless the commission has any questions.
Sure.
James, other than sites and so forth that we have available, I know a lot of times when they're contacting, you have sites available and so forth. How about the data, the numbers? A lot of investors look at numbers. Do we keep a database of numbers? I know a lot of it's private, but do we have some sort of database to give them on, let's say, figures of hotel figures, restaurant figures? Do we have that to maintain as well, a radio?
Yes, sir. That is part of the marketing strategy and plan and demographic profile that Retail Strategies put together. That information is provided to each one of those recruiting efforts.
saving that for us. All right, very good. I'm going to public comment. Anybody who wishes to address the commission may do so at this time, if you will just keep it to about a 3-minute maximum. Anybody? All right, seeing as nobody steps up to the podium, we'll go on. I'm sorry, Evelyn, get something?
Evelyn Hoageen with the Lovington Economic Development. Just to add on a little bit to James's report, today we did receive an email from Retail Strategies. As you've seen in the news lately, Walmart is expanding. They are looking at very many small communities. It could be a potential, just to let you know, Retail Strategies is going to reach out to them, maybe potentially with the 2 large buildings that we have in town, but they are going to try to recruit for that business.
Thank you. All right, no further public comment. We'll go on into non-action items. Discussion of quarterly financial report. Gary or James?
If I may, your mayor and
Yes, sir.
commission, I'm actually pleased to report that in spite of the fact that our revenues are coming in at the lower rates that we projected, we're doing a good job of keeping our expenditures low. Overall, when we're halfway through the fiscal year, 50% is the amount of expenditures you'd expect us to have accumulated. Overall, in all our budgets, we're at 39.09%. And in the general fund, which of course is our most critical one, it's only 43.59%. So really, we have departments and staff that are doing a really good job keeping our costs down. But essentially, that's basically all I really have to share relating to our budget update, unless you have any specific questions.
Any questions from the commission? Okay, thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. All right, next non-action item is the discussion of city utility policy. Gary, once again.
Again, your mayor and commission, I was in a situation where a woman came into Lovington City Hall and asked, why is this man living in my house? And why are we giving her water service, or him water service? And apparently she was frightened of finding somebody that she didn't expect in her home. That really motivated me to look at some of our practices and things that we've been doing related to how to identify, number one, who owns a home, and then secondly, what we've been doing
action items. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to consider resolution 2017-6, street light placement in area of 13th and Yucca.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. James?
Yes, sir. At our previous commission meeting, we had this resolution, which was tabled, pending further information and data. So one of the things that we did was we did go out, took pictures at dusk and at night. And you have copies of those in your Dropbox. But as you can see, looking from the beginning, I guess you would say 13th and Yucca, because we actually have two intersections, so we're calling the north side 13th and Yucca North. Looking to the south, you can see this is at the first light. Whenever you're going down the midpoint, you can see where this tree does seem to obstruct the view from further on. Looking directly underneath, you have a pretty wide lighting profile. Looking south, it does appear to get dark, but due to those tree obstructions. Whenever you look at it from an aerial view, you see a pretty wide swath of coverage at the intersections and where those lights are when you do have those gaps. However, whenever you look at adjacent neighborhoods, you see that the lighting profile is almost identical. One thing that we did note whenever we were out observing this area is that as far as pedestrian usage of the roads, there's actually sidewalks on both sides. So really, as far as utilizing those sidewalks for pedestrian travel, which I believe that's why we have some of the concern, being in the roadway would be a choice that that individual makes. So once again, we have a resolution which would either approve or deny the addition of this light. The Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend not approving this, but the final decision rests in the commissioner's hands.
This light, what did he put between the two lights?
There are actually two utility poles, Commissioner, that are in between each one of those lights. So there's actually poles in place where you could add two additional lights without having to add any existing poles.
Would that help the situation or not?
Our recommendation is to leave it as is. Of course, if you add those lights, it is going to increase or decrease the gaps where there's not a large amount of light.
I'd like to get Commissioner Gandy's opinion, since that is his district.
I drive through that street every night when I go home, and, you know, there's some very large trees right there. The lighting is no different than what's on Avenue H, Avenue I. It's pretty standard. I mean, it is a little dark, but there's some very, very large trees in that area that really knock a lot of that off. Even by the picture you can see there, everywhere in town has a little lighting. Most people, further to the east of me, have added more lighting to their the faucet underneath the roof. What is that called? Fascia. I know the phone. Fascia. They've added lighting to their fascias and stuff to help light up around their houses. So that's helping to bright up some of the areas. But in that particular area right there, very few of the residents have a
recommendation coincides with planning and zoning to
Yes,
not
sir.
approve this, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And just to be clear, when we vote, if you want to approve it, it'll be an aye vote. If you do not wish to approve it, it'll be a nay vote.
What was the initial?
I just
To approve.
consider, but you know, that's what's always touchy on this one. It says consider, we're just considering yea or nay, aren't we? Or we consider doing it? Is that?
It needs to be one way or another, right?
Yeah, we need to decide one way or another. Depends on how you make your motion.
My motion was, I didn't make a direct motion to it, but I would make a motion to not approve.
Actually, the best thing to do in that situation is leave it the way you made the motion as, consideration, because that would be in the positive. And then if we voted in the negative,
Okay.
that would be the best way, instead of changing.
I agree there.
Is that,
I think it's best.
okay.
Any other discussion about the commission? Okay, all in favor of approving this resolution, say aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Resolution does not pass. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll consider the next motion.
Make a motion to consider resolution 2017-7, approve of MOU between Norley Hospital and the city of Lovington for irrigation of the community health and wellness center outdoor spaces.
Second that.
We have a second. James?
Mayor, Commissioners, legal has added the language, the suggested language to this agreement, which would allow us to provide a meter and water to Norley Hospital for irrigation of the outdoor spaces, to include the soccer pitches at the the Wellness and Health Center. No charge in exchange for allowing the public to use the outdoor portions of that facility.
There was just some concern from some folks in the community. Is that open use for the public, as far as you know, James? I know there's probably be some reservations that are possible for teams, tournaments and so forth, but pretty much most of the time, the public has full access to that area, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good.
And also, I was, on the monitoring of the water, I know we have, our meters there. But they, in the future, if, by some chance somebody comes in and they say, well, hey, we're gonna tap into that line, we have a way of just keeping up with,
Yes,
who
sir.
uses what.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Any other discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain the next motion.
I make the motion we consider resolution 2017-8, approval of utility easement for New Mexico Gas Company in municipal well.
I'll second that.
We have second, James.
Mayor, Commissioners, I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Ball. I'm sorry.
We've been asked by the New Mexico Gas Company to grant them an easement out in our real field out behind it's in the northwest part of Navajo Refinery. It's, the actual gas line right now travels inside the refinery fence line, and they're wanting to move that where it's outside the fence line, so when they have to do any updates or anything to that, they're not going to go through Navajo Refinery to get that there. This is their main supply lines for Navajo Refinery, which is one of their third largest gas companies that use their gas. So, Navajo Refinery is having a shutdown in February, and so they need to have this approved so they can redo those lines at the same time the plant shut down for their cooking.
And your recommendation is to approve this resolution, is that correct? Okay, very good. Questions? Go ahead.
Did you ask if they're gonna dispose of the old line or leave it, what are they planning to do, taking it out or?
Representative from New Mexico Gas.
Hello, I'm Tony Evans. I'm the operations supervisor for all the Lovington operations. And we're gonna actually leave the line inside Navajo. What the term is, we're gonna abandon it in place. Navajo may use it or not, but they had no problem with us leaving it in the ground because it's actually inside their property. The other benefit of this, moving it out, is this is also a secondary feed into Lovington. So on real cold days or if there's any other problems, we can divert gas around that way to keep everybody in Lovington with gas service during the coldest of the colds. Yes, sir.
So you will kill the old line
Yes, sir.
Killed, so there'll be no.
Yes, it'll be killed, cut, and capped, so and abandoned in place.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Any other discussion by the commission?
How about you, Patrick?
Well, I think on that particular issue, we need to take a look at the existing right of way to see if it allows abandonment in place or to see what the terms and conditions are. That easement would dictate. As far as the new line, I provided James with an updated version of what our pipeline easements would be. And so I think the last time we pulled one together was for a subsidiary of Navajo or Holly when we run a line across us, and a lot's changed since then. So other than that, I think it's pretty straightforward.
So what you're saying is that the new line in place as a go, the one of being abandoned may just do a little research on, is that what you're recommending?
Well, yeah, I think what we would need to do is to take a look at what the existing easement provides for termination of that line. Can they abandon in place? My guess is, depending on the year that it was created, there's probably some language in it that says they can pickle it and leave it in place. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's in there, but that language would dictate how the parties deal with that particular issue.
So do you think we should wait on this?
No, I don't think a new easement has an effect on that. We can still grant that with that particular form, and then come back and take a look at what we've got on that other issue. I mean, it may not be an issue. We just have to look at it and see.
Any other discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain the next resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to consider resolution 2017-9, Lovington Planning and Zoning Commission appointment for Dave Rouser.
Second.
We have a second. All right.
Mr.
Any,
Mayor.
yes.
I know Mr. Rouser's not here this evening. He is in Santa Fe, praying for the legislature. So he wanted to be here, but kind of hard to be in two places at once.
I understand. All right, any discussion? Thank you for that, Commissioner. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Nay. Roll call, please. Ann?
Scotty Gandy, I'm sorry, Commissioner Gandy,
Aye.
David Trujillo,
No.
Commissioner Butcher,
No.
Commissioner Sanchez, and Mayor Campos.
Nay. I'll entertain another motion.
I'll make a motion, appoint Joel Gomez to Planning and Zoning Commission.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. Mr. Gomez is here today. Joel, would you mind? Did you want to come up and speak to the commission?
Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Joel Gomez. I've lived here all my life. I've worked around, the community. I've done banking and sold insurance in the past. About 2013, I took a job in the oil field, and I feel like I never saw Lovington in the daylight. And then from there, I went to work in Hobbs. I work for Ramirez and Sons now, and same thing. I'm in Lovington, or I'm in Hobbs throughout the day, and I feel a little disconnected from the community. And I feel this is a good opportunity for me to get back to the city I grew up in, the city that's got my heart. And I look forward to doing what I can to serve this board, this committee, to help you guys.
You have experience with
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I built a home on 13th Street and Avenue K, so I do have, I've done work with not serving on the board, but I've worked with them to get an easement in building my home. So I'd like to give back and serve on this board to, because they helped me out.
Any other questions? No? All right, thank you, Mr. Gomez.
Thank you.
All right, we have a nomination on the table for Mr. Gomez. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. I'll entertain the next motion.
Make a motion, we consider resolution 2017-10, Lee Community Foundation for the Arts City Representative appointment.
Second.
We have second, James.
Mayor and Commissioners, with Mr. Ferris's resignation from the Lee Community Foundation for the Arts Board of Directors, we do have a vacancy by our lease agreement with them. We have to fill. I know Commissioner Gandy expressed interest at our last commission meeting, and we've had no other interest. Staff haven't received any other interest.
You amend your motion?
Yes, sir, and I'd like to make a motion, we appoint Commissioner Gandy to fill that position.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. You okay with that second? Okay. All right, any discussion about the motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? You can. You're doing your good now. Motion carries. Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Gandy. Appreciate that. I'll entertain the next motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to consider resolution 2017-11, award of street guard convenience center fence installation.
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Butcher. Mr. Williams.
Yes, Mayor Commissioners, staff received sealed bids on January 10th for the installation of a fence that will surround the street yard and convenience station. It will be a metal fence with a concrete runner. We received 4 bids, and Carry On Construction from Rio Rancho, actually it was the low bid and met all the qualifications as far as being licensed in the state of New Mexico as a contractor, and that would be our recommendation. This bid does not include gross receipts tax, but it does fall within what we had budgeted.
Is it just a changing fix, or is it?
No, solid or panel.
Or panel, okay.
Any other discussion?
What kind of conclusion, what are we looking at on finishing up or getting it done?
Once the bid is awarded, we'll have our pre-construction conference to where we can determine what the timeframe is going to be. We still have to maintain site security, so it's going to take that coordination with our staff out there to where they open that fence up and they can construct the new stuff. So we'll actually find more. We do want to have this project closed out before June 30th, which I don't believe that that's going to be a problem, but once we have our pre-con meeting, we'll be able to determine that.
And in that bid, is it, whoever's awarded this, are they recommending for the cleanup too? And
Yes, sir.
hauling it off and everything?
Yes, sir. Mayor and Commissioners, this bid price includes any additional materials they need because we do have a certain quantity of materials on hand. So this includes any additional labor costs, disposal fees, and any additional material that is included in their base bid.
Thank you.
I got a question. The others that did, they didn't include a gross receipts tax in?
No, sir. Per procurement code, your bid is not to include gross receipts tax.
Another question. Could we have done this in-house?
No, Mayor Commissioners, no, because it's a public works project and it exceeds the threshold dollar amount where we cannot do this project in-house.
All right, any other discussion?
So I think that's actually included in the resolution.
Oh, is it? Okay, well,
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain the next motion.
I make the motion that we consider paying our accounts payable.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Gary.
Your Mayor and Commission, the single largest payment was the CES for reconstruction of Commercial Street. So I believe that indirectly went to Ramirez. Other than that, if you have any questions,
Commissioners. With this, if you recall, back in the summer, there was a leak in the pool. We had a leak detection company come in. It was not due to a crack in the pool. It was due to a crack in the intake on the pump, which was underground. So this was a very large line, not covered under warranty at all. So A1 Pools came in, they did repair and replace material. We're still doing some other improvements out there as well. There is, in the plaster around the pool, the plaster does need to be replastered. It's just due to its lifespan, so we do have another company that I cannot recall off the top of my head who it is at this time. It may be A1. They're gonna replaster our pool as well to give it a touch-up and to address the cracks. But the pool itself, it was not leaking.
What type of service, Gary, does Lovington Veterinary provide to us at about $7,000?
That is the spay and neutering services and any type of, if we have a sick animal before transport, things like that. Mainly is for the spay and neutering.
Okay.
You want to talk people to do that?
Yes.
So this is for.
We get revenue off of that, and we also have, but we have to turn around.
Any other questions, discussion? Seeing as there's none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain another motion.
I make a motion, we go into closed session pursuant to section 10-15-1 NMSA 1978, subsection H-2 regarding limited personnel matters, employee resignation.
Second.
We have a second. Roll call,